Okay, that's a good sign. Where's my video capture? There we go. Okay, we're back on. I'm streaming in OBS right now. So all right, sweet. I think this is probably going to be what we just do going forward. Things are going to look a little different on my end, so I'm just going to move you guys over here. Could you guys say basically anything you want in the chat, and we'll just see if this thing is back up and running. Do I have anyone in here? I guess I can't really tell yet. Okay, sweet. Maybe this is just how we have to do it from here on out. Why is the chat box so small? Should be way bigger than that. All right, I'm gonna share my screen again. I apologize, you guys, for all this. Hopefully this gets better going forward. And you're getting, for you guys out there, it's a crystal clear image again, right? Like, it's not choppy. There's no audio issues. How's the sound, by the way? Since I'm on OBS, I was able to tweak my microphone settings a little bit, but I can't hear what you guys are hearing until I upload this and watch it back. So is the mic too loud? Is it just right? Let me know, and we can get this thing adjusted. Quick question. Do you have any concerns about... let me pop this out and we'll drag it over here. Quick question. Do you have any concerns about XRP process and speed? Seems low to me. I do think that the 1500 per second transaction speed is maybe... Oh, sweet. Okay. You guys are saying this sounds good. Well, then we're just going to do this going forward. The process speed of XRP is a little bit slow compared to some of the new entrants to the market. You know, HBAR has 10,000 transactions per second. Coinbase's new Monad has 10,000 per second. You know, XRP is locked in at 1,500. Now, Dave Schwartz said that there might be some way for them to increase that beyond 1,500. I'm not entirely sure how that would work, so I'd need to look more into that. But it is a possibility they might be able to increase that 1,500 limit. But still, you know, 3 to 5 second transactions, 10 seconds at the latest. I think XRP is still fast enough for the purpose it serves. So I'm going to jump back to the ETFs. Sorry that we're having all these problems. I'm really hoping that, you know, on the other side of this weekend, I can finally get this thing more manageable. Because I feel bad that you guys have all this choppiness going on. So looking at the Franklin Templeton again, I'll make myself a little smaller. That seems better. You know, we're looking at daily flows of about 10 million to 5 million, in that range. I'm expecting this to stay pretty consistent. And if you've been following the XRP trajectory, the more tokens that get taken off of the exchanges, the more critical it will be for its price to go up to be able to facilitate certain things like, you know, the yen trade or Wall Street's adoption, settling the back end of the market. If Trump does, in fact, eliminate the U.S. debt by dumping treasury bonds in favor of crypto, XRP would be absorbing a good deal of that. I think they'd probably go with Ethereum and Bitcoin as well, so it might not be 100%. But all of these things would really make XRP's price go up if XRP's supply goes down. So seeing that Franklin Templeton has absorbed, let's zoom this back out to 3 months. We've got we've got 250 million, a little bit more in total net flows for just the Franklin Templeton ETF. That's accounting for roughly 100 million, maybe a little bit more, 100 million tokens on, the total supply. So, if we play this out for the next year, if the total inflows go into the billions for XRP, it's going to take up a lot of that available supply. And that was just one ETF. We've got Canary. Canary seems to have the largest fund flows. Let me make sure that you guys can see the screen here. Maybe on your end, these blips are almost too small to see. When it launched, its launch day accounted for a majority of the inflows. I'm gonna drag this to just 1 month. We'll see that on average they're pulling in between 3 and 6 million per day. On December 29th, Canary did see its first day of net outflows. It wasn't a lot. We're still greatly ahead. But it is something that we do have to look at. And I love good news as much as anybody, but this only really works if we also be honest with ourselves. Not all news is going to be good every time. So we do have a little bit of that being pulled out. We see Hamura says, David say almost 99.9%. This is 99.8 minus 100. What does that mean exactly? I guess I'm not following that question very well. AL says, could XRP be left in the dust as things progress like Netscape did? I don't think so, and the reason for that is because XRP has the greatest amount of partnerships, and in some ways you could say it's kind of like a boys club. The people that are working on Ripple are very close with the power system of the world. So some people might not like that. Some people might like that. Either way, I guess you could call it black-pilled, but if BlackRock and Vanguard and JP Morgan Chase, if all these large bankers are partnering up with Ripple, then even if there is better tech out there, I think XRP's going to be in here for the long haul. But it doesn't hurt to diversify. I'm looking at Flare and HBAR as well as some serious competition. Also Chainlink. Looking more into quant. We'll pull up the Twitter feed here in a second to look at some quant stuff. But in general, I do believe XRP is the best thing that you can put your money into. I don't think it's going away. I think it's only getting started. And truly, if this thing goes triple digits in the next 2 to 3 years, then we'll all be looking back on this moment with smiles. Let's see how Grayscale is doing before we jump to Twitter. We got GXRP. Grayscale. There we go. This one's interesting because it's $41. I wonder if that means that one share of Grayscale is giving you 20 XRP tokens. It's a little bit hard to get concrete data of how much each of these actually hold, but just doing some simple head math, with the Franklin Templeton being around $21, I think it is 10 tokens plus whatever their fund fees are. So if you do buy the ETFs, you are buying into some of the fees. You should probably just be aware of that. The management fees do account for something. Grayscale, 260 million. If you add all of them together, they're at over $1 billion by now. So roughly 500 million XRP tokens have been taken off of the exchanges since these ETFs launched. Really cool stuff. If this continues on the way it has, it looks like, in general, when you add all these guys together, we're looking at somewhere between 25 and maybe 50 million per day. Maybe not 50 million per day, but certainly between 10 and 20 million dollars feeding into these ETFs daily between all of the different XRP ETFs. If you just run that scenario for the rest of the year, they're going to pull out probably another 500,000 token, or not 500,000, 500 million tokens off the exchanges. And that supply crunch that people are predicting, I think does happen. Some people have said there's more XRP on the exchanges than what's been reported. I've seen reports as low as 1 billion. I've seen some reports saying it's 16 billion. It's hard to get concrete data on this. One thing you could do is go to the XRP net and just look up some of these exchange wallets. Little tip: if you do send your XRP off of Coinbase, you can see the Coinbase wallet address, and then you can search up that wallet. I think Coinbase has multiple XRP wallets because when I do an exchange transfer, I've recognized some of the wallets, so I know that there's not that many of them, but it's not the same wallet every time. So Coinbase might have like 5 to 10 XRP wallets, and you can search them up and see exactly how much balance they have. Maybe that could be a fun, like real deep dive video that I could work on. That's actually a cool idea. Let me know if you guys think that would be cool, and we could make a video doing some deep dives into how much Coinbase really has. By the way, just checking in to see, is the mic in fact better, the stream quality better? Just want to make sure that that you guys are doing good here. Am I still live? I don't see any feed activity. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, way better now. Okay, I see you guys. One thing when switching over to OBS, I can't see my numbers anymore, so I don't know how many people are actually in the stream. The one nice thing that the YouTube app does, it tells you exactly how many people are in the stream, but through OBS, I don't see that at all. So I do need to figure, because I want to make sure that you guys are still here. Let me see here. There might be a way for me to pop up some... okay, cool. I got it. I'll show it to you guys so you know what I'm looking at. I got this little thing. So it looks like there's 15 of you here. So that's good. And then... Okay, sweet. We'll get better at this over time. So we got 16. We had 30 before we had to restart. It's kind of unfortunate that this kind of stuff happens. Naturally you're going to lose people when you have to restart a stream, but I'm making the most of it. I appreciate you guys for jumping back in. I'm hoping that next week I'm on OBS full time and we can kind of say goodbye to the bad connection or the upload speed, because on OBS I can always increase my bit rate going up. You can't do that on the YouTube app. It's not even an option. So a little frustrated with that, but this is just the first week and I'm still making my pre-records. So I'm just taking things one step at a time. Hamera says, Dave Schwartz says, almost never talking riddles 99.8% of the time. I mean, exactly what I say. Well, today is January 9th. Today is January 9th. Let's look at XRP one more time before we hop on to Twitter. I don't know that anything's happening on the 9th. Yeah, we're still at 212, so I don't know. You know, there's a lot of riddles out there. I'm just almost like, ugh. It almost reminds me of QAnon back in the 2020 era. I see similarities. You know, I think all these things do happen, but maybe the riddles are doing more harm than good. So I want to jump to Twitter. I was looking through quant stuff yesterday. I saved a few tweets that I thought were pretty interesting. So right here, this first tweet right here. Major milestone for UK digital assets. Just laid legislation creating a comprehensive crypto asset regulatory regime coming into force in 2027. So this right here is telling me that, you know, quant is kind of going through some of the similar stuff we're going through here with, in the United States, we've got the Clarity Act. It looks like quant's going to have something similar going for it in 2027. Interesting stuff. That would definitely mean really good news for quant if that legislation passes. And then with it being 2026 now, I'm not saying I'm buying quant, but I am going to keep looking at it. And maybe it's something we put on a stretch list. So, you know, when I say stretch, it's kind of a carryover from my corporate life, but like a stretch assignment would be something that you're not really assigned, but you do it to, you know, score some extra points with upper management. I could see a small stretch, maybe you put 10, 15, 20, 50 bucks into quant weekly or monthly just to have a small position, and then we watch it, and if we see it start to climb, maybe I'll change my opinion on that and put it higher up in the list. But for now, I'm still in research mode for this one. So I'm going to keep an eye on it, and I'll report back with you guys if I do think this ends up being something we should be buying. More tweets. We're proud to announce the launch of QuantNet, the world's first programmable infrastructure and network that fundamentally transforms how banks connect to tokenize money and digital assets. So it sounds like quant might be part of the NFT space, where you start to tokenize things like your house or your car. Tokenization of other assets could be like if someone owned a gas station, they tokenize the gas station. Just throwing out some simple examples there. And this right here, I don't know if this actually has much sound. I don't know if there's anything to really listen to here. I don't hear anything on my end, so maybe this isn't a real video. But it's just more tweets about the United Kingdom getting things started there. So we're delighted to announce that Quant has been selected to create the new payments infrastructure and bank technology of the UK's tokenized deposits. This was tweeted out back in September of 2026. So still relatively fresh news. You guys know here in the crypto space, things move slow. The more I look at this, I kind of feel like Quant might be Europe's version of like the World Liberty Financial that some of you guys have been looking at. Maybe that's a good analogy. This is kind of like the Europe's version of that. Let's see what we've got. This was an interesting tweet. I saved a couple of this guy's tweets. I thought this one was a fun one we could look at. He's predicting $1 H bar this year, and a lot of the people in the comments seem to believe in that. Oh, David Protein. That's an ad. Okay, I was about to be like, whoa. Oh, this guy's saying don't lowball. Now, I've had comments like that on my own videos where people are saying that my price predictions aren't high enough. I do think that on the other side of the Clarity Act, if it passes this year, $1 H bar does seem pretty reasonable. I do want to talk about the Clarity Act because I do think that it could be in danger. I'm going to scroll up to the tweet that gives me that idea. So this guy's on the same page I am. I wasn't sure yesterday if it was a good idea or not to be covering what was going on in Minneapolis. But whether we like it or not, these geopolitical events, they do affect the market. And not just so much do they affect the market, they affect the regulatory space. And I'll cover that in a second. But this is out of Tehran, Iran. Kind of a fun Tehran, Iran. This is starting to show signs of global turmoil. You got rioting in Iran. There's some rioting going on in Minneapolis. Let me see if I save that tweet. Yeah, here we go. Well, this isn't really a riot, but people chanting Kristi Noem will hang, save a life. I don't know if YouTube will let me say it out loud, but they're saying kill ICE. This is just a situation of things are heating up, and this could have some bad consequences for the Clarity Act. Now, I don't necessarily want to get involved in internet spats, so I'm just covering this news as objectively as I can. I did predict yesterday on stream that this is probably going to spiral out of control, become something worse than what it already is. If this happens, this could be a problem for the Clarity Act. The Clarity Act is, whether people like it or not, a Republican bill. Trump being the crypto president. By association, the Republican Party is the crypto party. I'm not saying heads or tails how to feel about it, but that's just the way it is. And if you understand American politics, if the Republicans like something, it means that the Democrats have to not like it. Well, that could mean that we see the Clarity Act get torpedoed in the Senate if things continue spiraling out of control, because that could be kind of like a revenge mechanism for them. And it's something I'm keeping an eye on. I want to talk more about it, but I, at the same time, want to make sure that we're not starting conversations that get people upset. Looking over at the stream, I haven't seen any new chats coming in. I just want to make sure that that we're still live and that the connection's good. I'm a little paranoid now that ever since the stream health went down, I'm paranoid that you guys are lost. So any sort of interaction just to let me know you guys are still here would be good. Okay, sweet. I see some chats. There is one way that you could look at this. If the Clarity Act got torpedoed, and I'm not saying that would be a good thing, but if the Clarity Act got torpedoed, XRP is the only asset that has clarity. So I don't think it's a good thing for the Clarity Act to get torpedoed. And there could be a level of greed saying like, oh, well, if XRP is the only one that has clarity, they have no choice but to adopt XRP, and then all of us get to stuff our bags. I would rather see the whole crypto market succeed, because to me, this is more than just about getting rich. It's about, pioneering a new landscape. And I don't necessarily know if it's a good idea to have a monopoly, even if we're in the monopoly, or if a lot of us are probably in XRP. That's kind of what I meant by that. So I look at this stuff and I'm like, well, I think it's better if we get the Clarity Act passed. All of this civil unrest is going, I don't know if it's going to kill the Clarity Act, but it's something that we do have to pay attention to. Because this could just be one of those things that spirals out of control. If people start attacking federal agents, it's not going to go well. Things are going to get worse. But that's enough of the doom and gloom stuff. I had some other tweets I wanted to look through. This one was a fun one. I was looking at this. This kind of gave me a video idea. I might make a tier list of my own. Let me make sure that I'm not blocking the screen here. I'll throw myself back up here. Or actually, I might be able to just crop. Yeah, let's do that. That's cool. I like that. All right, cool. So this guy's name is Jesus Martinez. And I share a lot of the same sentiments. He's got an interesting one here. This actually came up earlier in the stream before we had to restart. If you're watching this in the playback, we had some technical difficulties that we had to restart the stream. So not sure I'm going to be able to splice the two uploads together. So if you're watching this one, you could also start the other one. That's for people at home watching this on the playback. We covered off Tao. I don't know how to say that. Covered that off earlier. I still need to do research on it. I thought it looked like a Bitcoin fork. Some people are saying that it could be an AI token that's like an AI version of Bitcoin. Very interesting if that's true. But what I like about this is myself and Jesus seem to be in pretty good agreement. However, I would have put XRP to the left of HBAR. Maybe he was just going by alphabetical order there, but I would put XRP at number 1. I don't see Flare anywhere on this list, so I think he's missing that one. But, he's got Quant in here, which makes sense. Over here in his A tier, notice there's no Ethereum. Interesting that he likes Solana. Interesting that he likes Zcash. Personally, I wouldn't want either of these in the A tier, but I guess that's what tier lists are for, so we can break things down and talk about it. I think having the Binance coin is fair. Binance is number 4. Can't buy it on Coinbase, so I don't have any. I don't know what CRO stands for at the moment, but I could look at that one up. I think Hypecoin, just off the name alone, kind of makes me not want to buy it. I'm very adverse to gambling or sensational things. So to name your coin after hype, to me, makes me not hype. But that's just a personal opinion. Chainlink, I do like Chainlink. I would have made Chainlink in the A tier. I wouldn't have put it in B. Dogecoin, I would have put somewhere down here in the F tier. I should just make my own tier list. I think I could really turn this thing around. Quant could be a little bit higher. Avalanche could probably be a little bit higher. I don't know what Unicorn is, but that one could probably go down here. Cardano probably belongs in the B tier. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I make a video? A 2021 crypto tier list video? I think that could be fun. Maybe work on something like that next week. Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, it's missing XLM. Yeah, there's no XLM in here. I would have put XLM in the A tier. If you guys don't know, XLM is kind of like a sister coin to XRP. It's essentially the same code. Jed McCaleb left Ripple and restarted the project, but XLM is basically XRP without Ripple. To put it at the most basic levels to understand. For that reason, I think XRP is going to outperform XLM, but from a technology standpoint, they're pretty much the same thing. Ooh, what's this? I can click on this, make my own tier list. While this loads, let's just go back to Twitter. I'll just keep an eye on this little spinny guy up here at the top. Oh, you guys can't see my tabs. Well, this thing didn't load, so we'll keep moving. So he's looking at the thing. I want to talk about the AWS stuff because I looked a little bit more into it, and it's not as good. Like, it's not as good a news as we originally thought. So the AWS partnership with Ripple, it's kind of misleading terminology. Amazon Web Services has Ripple as a customer. So it's not like Amazon Web Services is a provider for Ripple. It's not like they're necessarily partnered up the way we originally thought, but I still don't think that's a bad thing. But as long as people understand, this isn't quite the news that we originally thought it was. Sometimes the headlines are sensational, and you have to peel the onion a little bit more to realize sometimes not every headline is actually important. This is a cool one. FXRP seamlessly becomes a spot trading asset on Hyperliquid, a DeFi asset on Flare, and a settlement asset anchored to XRPO. This tweet was yesterday from Flare Networks itself, and I'll try to avoid just reading articles, so I think I probably won't click into this one, but interesting headlines to see. And then I like this graph right here, or this picture. Yeah, XRP, HBAR, and XLM, all part of the ISO 20022. It basically sums up in a little graph what my favorite coins are. You know, obviously it doesn't have Flare in it, but I'm gonna start doing a little bit more HBAR content because I know that some people have been asking for it, and I haven't really made any HBAR specific videos yet. But HBAR is basically going to be a big player in tokenization, AI. It's going to have some military application as well, so it's going to be very well partnered with the U.S. government, and gonna really be a big player in the AI space. What sets HBAR aside from all the other coins is the fact that it's a hash graph, not a blockchain technology. So think kind of like if all of blockchain was Microsoft, HBAR might be like Apple operating system. So like going from Windows to iOS, or maybe even Linux would be a good, just kind of a way to frame that up. Coming back up here, we talked about it at the beginning of the stream before I had to restart. Quant has some ties to Japan that I didn't know about prior to seeing these tweets. So yeah, I think HBAR is a really good, you know, I'm dollar cost averaging into it. Not a crazy amount, but you know, if HBAR did hit $1 today, or not today, this year, it'd be like an 8x from where it's at right now. Maybe even a little bit more than that. And yeah, let's see. So HBAR is at exactly 12 cents. I don't know what 12 times 8 is, but I have to imagine that's pretty close to 100. So looking at about an 8x if this goes to $1. One way or another, I think this goes to $1. Is it this year? Is it next year? It could happen. I think it's. I think in the crypto space, we got to be a little bit more patient. I think we take for granted how fast crypto can grow, and sometimes you're like, "Oh, it's only up 2x. That's bad." It's like, compare that to what you get in the traditional stock market, and even a 30% year in crypto is going to beat out most stocks that you buy in the S&P 500. Do I think H bar is going to $1? I do. This year, we'll have to see. It really depends on the Clarity Act. Quant, I see this as a 2027 coin, mostly because of that United Kingdom legislation that we were looking at earlier. But to see that they're partnered up with Toyota is pretty cool. I don't know how deep that goes. It says Toyota references Quant patent. What does that really mean? This tweet doesn't really dig into that, but putting this one on the watch list for sure. Highest rated comment here, such a sleeper. The Japan ties are really significant. This on top of every other partnership. Japan really seems to be at the forefront of crypto. So whatever the Japanese like, by association, I'm going to like. We'll keep an eye on this one for sure. I'm not sure I'm going to be buying Quant right now, but we could start doing some more dives into this because some people have been asking for it. Let's see what we got here. A few of you need to understand why the Quant token is essential. Quant isn't optional token tech. The token is built directly into the protocol. Even if an enterprise pays in fiat, the treasury converts that payment into Quant and locks it for the license period. That mechanism controls access, security, and throughput across Overledger. Fiat is just the payment rail. Quant is the settlement enforcement layer. I mean, that's all great stuff. It doesn't sound like anything we haven't already heard from all of the other major cryptos. But if it's getting partnerships, and to me, that's what matters, right? Partnerships are going to lead to adoption, and adoption is going to lead to price appreciation. What does this graphic say? Removes Quant from circulation. Enterprise pays in fiat. Locked Quant creates network optionality. All cool stuff. We'll keep an eye on this one. I'm warming up to it. Not sure if I'm ready to dump any, because I want to keep going. I want to keep going in on Flare. Anything I could spend on Quant is money not going into Flare, and that's kind of why I'm hesitant to be buying it right now. In any case, it's not entirely clear yet. Oh, if it's not entirely clear yet, FXRP is XRP on steroids powered by Flare Network. Super duper agree. XRP, at least right now, doesn't have native staking. So the ability to stake your XRP on the Flare network, to me, is huge. Not just because it's a nice way to get passive income on your XRP tokens. It shows that Flare is really forward thinking. They've got the best DeFi platform, in my opinion. And I think it's only going to keep getting better. Flare is really quickly becoming one of my favorite coins. It might even pass up HBAR. I couldn't be more excited for this coin. I think it's really going to do well, especially after the final airdrop. The inflation on Flare is going to be significantly reduced. So I do think that's going to give it the space it needs for that price to start growing. Got a question from Over and Out Evolution. What's your opinion on investing 100% into XRP until price appreciation versus allocating a certain percentage to other alts? Would you change your strategy if you hit or surpass your goal? That's an awesome question. I've got multiple answers, so I'm just going to break it down piece by piece. I was investing 100% of my allocation budget into XRP for about 6 months. So for about 6 months in early 2025, I was not buying anything. I wasn't even buying Flare or HBAR. I had a price target in my mind, or not a price target. I had a bag token value. I had a token value in my mind that I wanted to hit. Once I hit that, I started to move about 10% into Flare and 10% into HBAR. So I maintained 80% going into XRP. By the way, not selling anything. That's just my budget of allocation. As I continued getting further and further beyond my XRP goals, I started to dive a little bit more into Flare. And once there's true price appreciation for XRP, I'm going to reevaluate how much did XRP grow in proportion to everything else. If it's pretty neck and neck, I'll probably still just heavily allocate towards XRP and Flare. If XRP really outperforms everything else, I'll probably pull back on my future contributions, maybe up to 100%. I mean, let's say that XRP hit $100. I'm just throwing this out there. I think it's very unlikely that I'd ever buy XRP again. I mean, what am I going to do with $100 at a $100 token that to me, it'd be like, well, geez, I should have just bought more XRP when it was $2. But if there's tokens that don't move at the same time XRP moves, I do think other tokens are going to move after the Clarity Act passes. So that's my current plan. Let's get XRP's moonshot, or whatever you want to call it. Let's get that first. Once that occurs, don't sell anything, but start to pivot into all of the other utility coins. That would be the time to start buying Quant and Algo, more Flare, more HBAR, XDC, XLM. I almost have an idea of making a altcoin mutual fund, or like ETF, or like index, or whatever you want to call it. And I think I think I might do that, and then I'll just let you guys copy my notes. I should be working for UBS or Merrill Lynch and selling them. These are my portfolios, but I don't know. I just like giving out the info. I'm a pioneer kind of guy. Let me catch up on these chats here. Coinbase messed up my account, so it's being reviewed. Using Robinhood in the meantime. Can't find Flare on the app. Is Flare exclusive to certain platforms? I think you can get Flare on Uphold. I think someone said Gemini didn't have it either. If you can get Flare on Uphold, that might be a good option. Let's look. Let's see if it's supported here. Here you go. Yeah, if you wanted to get on Uphold, you could buy Flare from there. That'd be real easy to do. Sucks that Coinbase froze your thing. That's why I don't really like the exchanges that much. If they freeze you, then you're out of the game. But if you... Ooh, I gotta fix my hair there. If you have a cold wallet, you can take care of all of that. There we go. Let's get that. Yeah, let's get the barrel lid back in there. There we go. That's what I want to see, that barrel lid. Let's see here. Robinhood does not sell Flare. That's right. I had to sign up for Coinbase only to buy Flare. Yeah, that's how the crypto world works. If you want something, sometimes it's not offered on one platform, and then you gotta kind of suck it up and have multiple accounts. It's not the greatest way to do things. I'm not entirely thrilled with that, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Looks like Uphold has a lot of stuff that I like. You know, XRP, Stellar, H-Bar, Canton is another one people have been asking me about. I know you guys like World Liberty Financial. That's on Uphold. I might consider, because I don't have an Uphold account, I might consider getting on Uphold just so I can take advantage of this new debit card that they're offering. Let's see if I can scroll through to it. Uphold is a platform to discover important new tokens early. That's interesting. Where's the debit card? That's what I want to see. Where's your debit card at? Okay, that's not it. That's not it. Oh, it's got to be on here somewhere. Huh. Uphold debit card. Is it not? Is it really not on the same site? Okay, well here we are. I haven't done it yet, but I might apply for this credit card over the weekend, and then maybe I'll do a demo on it, just see what it looks like, how things go with it. You know, how does it work? And then maybe I do a follow-up video, like, here's a month of me using this card. Let's see how it, you know, is it in fact good? It's going to be a debit card, so it's not going to be like the Gemini, which is still a credit card. So you're going to have to preload it with stable coins. Not necessarily a big deal, but it is kind of something to think about. This is an interesting one. Turn your paycheck into even bigger rewards. I guess I could just sync up my YouTube AdSense. Now, wouldn't that be something? Getting direct deposits from YouTube straight into XRP. You know, that could be a play. I'll look into this. I'll do some experimenting with this. This could be something good here. If you guys don't mind, these water bottles are running through me. We are getting close to the end. I'm just going to hit like a 2-minute bathroom break, and then we're going to start wrapping up because I only got about 10 minutes left anyways. If you're new, if you weren't there for part 1, if you could like the stream, that'd be really appreciate that. Also subscribe to the channel. We had to restart the stream. We had some technical difficulties. That's why it's split in half. But yeah, go ahead and like this stream if you haven't already. I'll be back in 30 seconds. All right, I'm gonna catch up on these comments. Thanks for waiting. I did a little experiment. Let me know if any of you guys got it. When I got up to go to the bathroom, I clicked on the insert ad button. Did any of you guys get an ad? Just wanted to see if there's some way I can keep you guys entertained when I go to the bathroom, even if that means skipping a 5-second ad. So if any of you guys got that, just let me know. Still figuring out this streaming, situation. So on that topic, one thing I can't see on my side is how many people have liked the stream, although I could on the YouTube side. I think that's interesting. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, if you guys are using ad blocker, no problem. I'm a believer that you don't. If you got YouTube Premium, if you can skip the ads, you should. I'm looking to see. There's nowhere on my side that shows how many likes the stream has, which I think is strange. It did when I was streaming on the YouTube side. Are you guys able to tell me how many I've got? Even when I look at my own stream, I don't see it. I can show you guys what I'm looking at. So, I've got 28 viewers, the chat rate, there's the views, but I don't see the likes. Not that it necessarily matters that much, but it would be nice to know this information. Oh well, I guess it doesn't matter that much. I would have thought this thing right here would have it, but it doesn't. Menu. Yeah, you'd think there would be more. Oh well. If you guys, I see there's 25 of you in here. If you haven't already, make sure to like the stream. That'll let YouTube know to show this to more people going forward. Debit card is legit AF. Basically been stacking free XRP. That's basically what I've been doing with my Gemini card. This thing's been awesome for me. If I'm at the bar, I'm getting Miller Lite anyways. Then, oh, someone just said F5 and refresh your chat to update. Yeah, let's try that. Let's see what happens. I hope it doesn't cancel out the stream. There we go. Okay, cool. That works, so that's good. Oh, cool. Okay, I like this comment. I always use my phone on YouTube for likes when I streamed on PC. So, because I have my phone out right here, so would I basically just go to my own channel and then watch my own stream? I guess I could do that. That might not be a bad way to do it. I'm going to try and get into it right now. So I'm going to go to my live. And what an ad to pop up. All right, come on, get out of here. Okay. I think that works. Oh wait, no, I'm in a I'm looking at my phone. West goes east. I'm looking at my phone right now, and it's not showing me my live. Like I see that I'm live obviously right here on this platform. I'm not seeing if I go to my channel on my phone, it doesn't show my live stream right now. Oh wait, here it is. Okay. I still gotta figure all this stuff out. I just started YouTubing like a month and a half ago. Maybe I set up my phone right here, and that could be a cool way to see what the stream looks like. Okay. Maybe I'll put it right there. Yeah. Oh, and now I can see how many likes I got. Guys, I only got 18 likes. We're gonna need to bump those numbers up. I'm kidding. Like it if you want to, but I'm not gonna force your hand. Oh, and that's another one we could do. Copy the live link, open it incognito. Okay. This is cool. You guys are giving me good ideas here. This will get you guys. Oh, and we got one more thing. If you exit out of the chat on the app, you will see the thumbs up. Interesting stuff. I'll get better at this stuff. I appreciate that you guys are helping me figure this out because I just started streaming this week. It's way easier to shoot a pre-recorded video than it is to stream. So once I get this thing figured out, it's going to be so much easier. And then we won't have to pause so much when there's technical difficulties. We've got 5 minutes. Anything you guys want me to cover before we wrap up? I'm going to have a video coming out either tonight or tomorrow morning. And I'm going to do a video. I thought about it all night. I decided I'm going to do it. I'm gonna do a Clarity Act video, and we're gonna talk about the implications of what's going on in Minneapolis and how it's kind of spreading out. I just ask that don't fight in the I don't think you guys would do this, but I want to make sure that we don't end up in a space where I've got people yelling and screaming at each other, or like I don't want anyone's feelings to get hurt because. Some people are really upset that a woman got shot, and I think it's bad. Like, obviously, you should never be excited that someone's been shot. I mean, there's some people on Twitter that are. That's not my angle, but my angle is definitely how does this stuff affect us? Because at the end of the day, there's nothing I can do to change what happened, but, you know, I can see how things play out, and I can help people position themselves better. Whether that's making financial decisions or just staying out of trouble. Because if this thing escalates, you know, not only could it ruin the Clarity Act, but, you know, the things have a way of getting you riled up, and then you end up involved in things that originally you didn't even think you would. You know, it's every riot starts somewhere. So I'm going to shoot that probably after I have lunch, and then maybe that'll be out either tonight or I'll just post it Saturday morning. That probably is just as fine. Maybe something on Travis Swift. Man, I can't stand that guy. He's a great tight end, though. But if you guys haven't noticed, I'm a huge NFL fan. Huge Lions fan, huge Red Wings fan. Was at the Wings game last night. Some of you guys jumped in my stream that I didn't mean to start a stream last night at 11 o'clock. I meant to run it in test mode, and I ended up in live mode. And then I'm like, oh gosh, I'm live at like 11:30, and I'm not ready to talk to people right now. Lunch today. I've been getting back into my fitness grind. I'm probably going to have some cottage cheese, an apple, a banana, and maybe a protein shake or two. And then for dinner, you know, it is a Friday night. I like to save my Friday nights for wherever I end up. So probably end up somewhere downtown tonight and just eat whatever's out there. So it's kind of like if I have a light lunch, I can kind of have a little bit more fun at night. I went for a run first time in 2026 without a hoodie on, so that was cool. Not every day that you have 60 degrees in January. That's kind of weird, but I'm not complaining at all. And then excited for the weekends. Good vibes all around. I'll be hopping back in here Monday. Today's stream worked out pretty good. Was able to go the full 2 hours. I'd like to see if we could keep the 2 hours. I think that'd be good. There was some feedback yesterday that it got a little boring towards the end, but I thought this one went pretty good. So we'll keep trying to do 2, and you know, if it does get a little dry, maybe we tighten it up to 1:30. But this one seemed to work out. So with that, I'm going to start wrapping this up. Last chance to like the stream. I see I'm at 19. If you guys could help me get to 20, that'd be cool. But more important, even more important than the like, if you're jumping in here for the first time from your recommended YouTube's page, best thing you can do is subscribe to the channel. That's how you're gonna get back here in the future. We do a lot more than just stream here. I've got pretty regular uploads. Try to do about 4 to 5 videos a week. Those are all pre-recorded. And beyond that, I engage with you guys a lot in the comments. So when you guys have questions, I'm checking back to answer them. And we're gonna work on getting a community membership set up soon. As always, shout out to Dean for the barrel lid. That thing's awesome. If you want some custom made XRP or crypto gear, or you can make anything you want. It doesn't even have to be crypto related. Let me get that in there. I got ppclaser.com. I'm going to get this hung up over the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, I'll have a little bit more free time to handle the studio side of things. So I look forward to that. And we are going to wrap things up here. I appreciate everybody hopping on. This has been a pretty good week, and I'm excited to see where we take things. With that, have a good weekend. Video out probably tonight or tomorrow morning. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.